Greetings, Exile. It's me, the guy who makes off-meta trash builds that nobody asks for, bringing you my league starter, the FaceBreaker Titan, a BONK build. A build which will show the boss who's the real boss. A build that makes sure bosses don't even get a chance to stand up, because every time they try to get back up, they get bonked in the face and stomped into the ground by a massive hammer. And even those stun-resistant giant bosses are not safe from the power of the bonk. Now, we don't have access to FaceBreakers yet. So to give you guys the most authentic showcase of what this build will be capable of, I did a full SSF campaign run by building two one-handed maces, as that was the closest way to simulate using FaceBreakers, which means this build was tested using nothing but trash gear off the ground. Now, before we proceed further, I would like to inform you guys about the unofficial sponsor of this video, the Blind Witch, because the only thing YouTube's all-seeing algorithm has given me nowadays is the middle finger. So a huge shout out to the Blind Witch. Since we are making a bonk build, we heavily rely on two of the most physical mechanics in PoE 2, those being heavy stun and armor break. But before we talk about those, I would like newer players to understand what FaceBreakers actually are and how they work. This section is the most relevant clip from my previous video. So if you already know how FaceBreakers work or were unlucky enough to watch my last video, feel free to skip ahead. This item has no attribute or level requirement, so anyone can use it at any level. But to equip it, both our main hand and offhand slots are supposed to be completely empty. And since FaceBreakers are equipped in the glove slot, we're effectively sacrificing 3 equipment slots in total. In return, we gain 8 to 12 flat physical damage and gain 3 to 4 additional physical damage per boss face broken. So when you first find this unique, it will only have 8 to 12 physical damage. But that number will keep increasing with every unique boss you defeat throughout the campaign, including all unique bosses in the interludes. We also gain 1% more damage per 5 strength, meaning strength stacking is going to be a main way to gain damage. So around 500 strength, which should be very achievable, we gain 100% more damage. And so much strength will also provide us a massive amount of additional HP and scale well with brute strength and hefty unit. You can even corrupt this item with a war lobe and hope that 5 strength modifier changes to 4 strength modifier, resulting in roughly 25% more damage. We also gain extra strike range, which will make using skills like Bone Shatter feel much smoother. We also gain armor per strength. So with 500 strength, we also gain 500 flat armor as well. But now comes the main part. It states that we can use all mace skills while unarmed. This means our default attack becomes mace strike instead of punch. While unarmed, we also gain a base attack speed of 1.65, which is much higher than every mace type. And our base critical strike chance also becomes 5%. Although it says all mace skills, we still cannot use supercharged slam with it, because our fist counters dual wielding 2 one-handed maces, while supercharged slam specifically requires a 2-handed mace. Now for the final thing that we gain from this. The item states that any unarmed attack that would use a equipped mace damage instead uses this item's damage. So basically, your fists are your maces and your maces are your fists. And since this damage appears as an implicit modifier, it can also be scaled further by applying quality to the item, potentially granting 20% more damage. These gloves honestly do not seem that hard to acquire even in SSF, as Ritual now only offers unique items and you can gamble or chance chalky mids since FaceBreakers are their only unique outcome. Now that you know how FaceBreakers work, let's get back to the main topics, heavy stun and armor break. Starting with heavy stun. All of the damage you deal with hits contributes to heavy stun build up and is displayed with a bar above target's head. And when this bar is full, the target becomes immobilized for a duration, unable to move or perform any actions at all. Melee hits and pure physical hits contribute to a much higher stun build-up. While a target is heavy stunned, you can take advantage of snorts like Smash, Shattering Blow, Flip the Script, Guided Hand, Perfect Opportunity, Honorless, and even deal more damage through Crushing Impact. Then we have Armor Break, a debuff which reduces the target's armor. And when target's armor gets reduced to 0, this debuff changes into something called Fully Broken Armor. While a target's armor is fully broken, they take 20% increased physical damage. And this value can be boosted with knots like Pylon and Molten One's Gift. Increase the amount of physical damage they take even further. Now, the main interaction between heavy stun and armor break comes from Shattering Blows, which breaks 50% of target's maximum armor on heavy stun. So if we get 100% increased armor break, this 50% also becomes 100%, meaning that every time we heavy stun a target, we fully break its armor, making it perfect for our build. Finally, let's talk about the skill gems we are using for this build. Our main setup revolves around Armor Breaker, Deep Slam, Bone Shatter, and Hammer of the Gods. Let's start with Armor Breaker. It's a simple skill that does exactly what the name suggests. It breaks a fixed amount of armor with every hit, while also knocking back enemies. Next, we have Leap Slam, which is arguably the most powerful skill for a bonk build in PoE 2, as it inherently has 88% more stun build-up and can even consume broken armor for 500% more stun build-up. And if we combine this with supports like Brink 2 and Stun 3, we gain another 350% more stun build-up. Altogether, that's a ridiculous 938% more stun build-up, allowing us to instantly prime any boss for heavy stun. And since we're talking about prime for stun, let's move on to our third skill, Bone Shatter, which instantly heavy stuns any target that is primed for stun, creating a damaging shockwave around them and even dealing 50% more damage to unique enemies. Lastly, we have Hammer of the Gods, the classic fan favorite. To use it, we need at least 20 glory, which is generated by heavy stunning unique enemies. And as you already saw, heavy stunning enemies is not exactly difficult for our BONK build. So here's the full combo we need to perform to deal maximum damage. First, we fully break boss armor with Armor Breaker. Then we directly leap onto their face with Leap Slam, consuming the broken armor for massive stun build-up and priming them for stun. After that, we bonk them in the face with Bone Shatter, instantly heavy stunning them and fully breaking their armor once again thanks to Shattering Blow. And finally, while the boss is helplessly laying there, we bring down the massive hammer straight onto their face. Now, before we wrap up, let's talk about why I choose Titan as my ascendancy for this build. First, we have Colossal Capacity, which is honestly just whatever. Cool, a few extra inventory slots, but the real reason we take it is the small load leading to it, which grants 4% increased strength. And as you already know, FaceBreakers scale heavily with strength. Next, we have Hulking Form, which also has the same strength node leading to it. But Hulking Form itself is incredibly powerful for this build, as it increases the effect of all small passive nodes by 50%. This means it boosts almost everything we care about: strength, stun buildup, damage, armor, area of effect, and much more. Overall, it's a massive boost to the entire build. After that, we have Earthbreaker, which increases our aftershock chance for slam skills. This is especially useful for Leap Slam and Hammer of the Gods, giving us more damage and impact. Lastly, we have Crushing Impacts, which simply causes heavy stun enemies to take 25% more damage. And since permanently bullying bosses with heavy stuns is basically the entire point of this build, this node ends up being incredibly strong. Now, I can't cover every single thing in such a short video, so I always make sure to create a detailed mobalytics guide to help you out. Right now the guide is still in draft form with just the POB for this version, but rest assured, once I finish leveling on League Start, I will fully update it with proper leveling sections and progression. If you like these type of off-meta trash builds, make sure to complete all the formalities by liking, subscribing, and even clicking that notification bell. As always, thanks for watching Exile.
Where you stand. You disrupt the design. Our time is now. Death from every angle. Where you stand.
Fuck off, motherfucker.
This was to be